Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. I want you to take just a second and really settle in with me here. How many times have you reached the absolute end of your day, collapsed onto the couch, and just felt this bone-deep, completely overwhelming sense of exhaustion? You know the feeling. You might look back at your schedule and realize, hey, I didn't run a marathon today, I wasn't hauling heavy boxes, maybe you spent most of the day just sitting at a desk, or bravely conquering completely standard errands like, I don't know, buying a single loaf of bread. Yet that fatigue is profound, it's undeniable, and frankly, it feels a little absurd. Well, today we're going to explore the source material that shines a really bright, revealing light on exactly where all that energy is going. We're looking into the invisible labor of emotional work. It's a question that gets right to the heart of what so many of us are actually experiencing. Why are we so incredibly exhausted, even when we haven't done a lick of physical work? You see, we usually measure our productivity by what we can actually see, right? The emails we sent, the meals we cooked, the miles we drove. But what happens when the absolute heaviest lifting we do all day is completely unseen by the people around us? There's a very real reason for your exhaustion, and it actually has a name. Okay, let's dive into this. Naming the invisible effort. Emotional labor. By definition, it is the invisible and often completely unpaid effort people make to keep others comfortable or satisfied. Let's just unpack that for a second. It happens when someone is required to hide their true, real emotions. It's the active, ongoing effort of biting your tongue when a boss is being wildly unreasonable, or summoning the sheer energy to feign enthusiasm at a mandatory social event you literally just wanted to skip. You are essentially managing your own feelings. Actually, it's more like you're carrying the emotional responsibilities of the room to curate a specific experience for someone else. It is labor, plain and simple, but because it doesn't leave a physical footprint, it goes largely unrecognized. Zooming out for a minute, we can really see the massive scope of this issue. Our source material outlines 3 distinct spheres where this emotional labor takes place: the workplace, our personal relationships, and social media. It's not just contained to one tiny little corner of our lives, it permeates practically every single environment we navigate daily. So we're going to break down each of these 3 spheres to see exactly how this invisible effort gets extracted from us. Let's look at the first sphere, the professional smile. In a lot of professional environments, particularly in customer service, this labor is a formal job requirement. Employees are expected to smile and remain polite even when customers are being completely rude to them. And what's really interesting about this slide is how customer service roles formally require workers to suppress genuine human reactions. It turns out the old adage, "the customer is always right," is often just corporate speak for "please absorb this stranger's bad mood with a grin." Think about the massive amount of internal suppression that requires. The worker literally has to swallow their natural human reaction to being mistreated and instead project warmth, patience, and total compliance. They are doing 2 jobs at once: the physical task of serving the customer and the incredibly heavy emotional task of managing the customer's mood while actively stifling their own. Right. Let's shift gears from the public workplace into the intimate sphere of our homes. Labor in personal relationships. In our personal lives, we very easily recognize visible work. If someone is managing the house, doing the laundry, or handling childcare, we can literally see that effort. Society acknowledges it. But this stands in sharp contrast with the invisible work of managing emotional conversations. This is the effort of anticipating a partner's moods, smoothing over family conflicts, or delicately framing a sentence so as not to set off an easily offended relative at Thanksgiving dinner. It's a constant, ongoing negotiation of feelings that keeps the household running smoothly, yet it rarely gets checked off a to-do list and it almost never receives a thank you. Moving on to the highly modern sphere, the digital demand. You might think of social media as a place to just kind of relax or disconnect, but it's actually a massive hotbed for emotional labor. This happens when people demand explanations or emotional reassurance from others online. It's that subtle yet incredibly pervasive expectation that you must constantly be available to soothe others. We've all felt that specific brand of exhaustion, right? Spending 20 minutes drafting a 2-sentence reply, meticulously choosing the exact right tone and the perfect emojis just to avoid a potential conflict. This constant tether to the emotional needs of a digital audience is a huge, often completely unacknowledged drain on our mental bandwidth. Next up, the burden bearers. So the crucial point is that this invisible burden is not distributed equally across society. Women and service workers are often the most affected because society frequently expects them to care for others emotionally. It is a structural societal expectation. The world often just implicitly demands that these specific groups prioritize the comfort and satisfaction of others way above their own authentic feelings. This isn't just about individual choices, It's about deeply ingrained societal roles that automatically assign this invisible, unpaid work to specific demographics, massively compounding the exhaustion they experience.
Which leads us to the consequences, the hidden human toll.
Carrying this pressure day in and day out, the burnout happens in a compounding cascade. And this brilliantly illustrates how it starts with step one, the constant pressure to manage your own emotions and satisfy others. You're just always on. That inevitably leads to step two, an escalation into severe stress, and that inexplicable exhaustion we talked about at the very beginning of the explainer. Finally, it culminates in step three, deep dissatisfaction. When your energy is perpetually spent on hiding your true self to maintain the comfort of everybody else, it literally hollows out your own sense of fulfillment. It is a profound, deeply hidden toll on the human spirit.
Which leaves us with a necessary reflection. Who are you performing emotional labor for today? And what is the hidden cost to your own well-being? Whether it's the customer at the counter, the dynamics in your living room, or the followers on your social media feed, this invisible effort is real, it is valid, and it is taxing. By naming it and seeing it clearly today, hopefully we can begin to acknowledge the true value of our own energy. Thank you so much for walking through this fascinating topic with me. Keep asking these important questions and absolutely take care of yourselves out there.